they got rid of like the best society or guild or whatever anyways.
Welcome once again to Conscripted, episode 24. We rejoin the party presently on the late day of the 15th of Larsis. So, who remembers what had happened over the last couple of days? Really, the last day.
We won.
What did you win?
We beat the final boss by sneaking into his house and bashing him in the face.
When have I ever had final boss? Well, I guess sometimes I do, but... So,
and stole all his secret ledgers.
What happened?
Well, he's gonna go get somebody competent to steal this ledger for us.
Yeah, so you beat up on that guy.
Yep.
And almost left him for dead. Because you lack the sufficient heal skills to keep somebody conscious.
Sure do.
And even if you had them, the wisdom to use them.
Yep.
What else happened? You weren't the only one in the party doing stuff. What did other people do that session?
Did a bunch of research in the library about magic users, like Steve Lowe magic users. Was that last session?
Yeah, that was last session. Right? Yeah. Yep.
Oh no, that not the Steve Lowe magic users. That was before. But the laws regarding.
Correct. Because you are correct. In Luke Hill, you did the research about the Steve Lowe magic users.
Yeah. I did the research on this time about laws. See what exactly we got to follow to stop these horrible magic users.
And how about you, Arius? What did you do last session?
I don't think I did much, actually. I don't recall doing much. I chilled. I helped the party.
You increased your horde size, I believe.
Very minusculely.
No, okay, so you've officially reached dragon levels where large quantities of platinum are just not enough.
Large? Did I only get like an extra 10 or something?
I mean, you totaled hundreds of platinum.
Yeah, but that was mostly from fair loot.
Yeah, you only got an extra 100 gold.
And how about you, Spinks? What did you do last session?
I learned about ghostesses.
What did you learn?
I learned about the uses of ghostesses.
And how are you going to start using the ghostesses?
I gotta talk to the ghostesses and see what they like, and then I can use them.
For nefarious purposes?
Great, it's freezing again.
Oh, it'll be okay. It'll fix in a sec. There it is.
Yes.
Yeah, but it'll keep doing it.
It's okay. So what can you use the ghost for?
For dinner.
Ghost eater.
Oh yes. That's definitely one of the uses.
Ooh.
Why can I only remember one?
Oh, what do you remember?
I remember that I can use them to help me make wondrous items.
That's one of the uses. Perhaps you'll recall later what the other uses are. Perhaps if you read through your abilities, you'll recall what one of the uses are. And
that's the only important one.
Mal, what did you do last session?
I mostly shot and undid damage that Ryan had started.
No.
But
you bought something pretty significant, though, I thought.
Yeah, I bought my forge. Trying to figure out the logistics of what it all entail. But with time, it should become hopefully pretty useful.
Mm-hmm.
What did Pierre get up to?
Ooh. If you are asking Pierre, he is happy to tell you.
Yes,
and
I'm asking.
Hopefully not in my Austrian accent.
Crikey.
Pierre eventually meets you guys at the inn that you're staying in. You are presently staying, I believe, at the Green Candle Inn.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the inn that was here.
Yeah, I remember that name.
I have a number of things that I like to do when I'm in town. Not just simply have a drink, but there are a few people about the area who will sometimes ask small favors from me, deliver notes or whatnot that I might come across in our travels. Since I know at some point we're going back to the camp. There are numbers of people who know people in the military that want letters delivered, and I'll sometimes take care of those things and meet up with those people. Occasionally I'll meet some of my traveling friends that I don't get to see very often.
We don't give you enough money? What are you doing all these extra tasks for?
There's always room to make more money. And
True.
sometimes you do things because it's the thing that you have to do, you know?
All right. Sounds kind of thievy guildy if you ask me. But
No. I'm definitely on the up and up, not doing any sort of illicit activities whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Those days are long gone.
Those days? So wait, you used to do it?
Give me a diplomacy check or a bluff check.
Intimidate check.
Uh,
Based off of how Arius was acting
Intimidate
last
as well.
session to him.
Shake him down.
Okay, so you can gleam out of him a few things. I may or may not have been like handling some things for some organizations that I'd rather not discuss too many details about, but let's just say there's a reason I am as skilled as I am with keeping a horse and cart in line. Perhaps in time I will find the ability to share it with you, but I don't feel today is quite that day. But many of my skills do come from some of the mistakes and misgivings of my past.
yeah, well, I'm not here to judge. I've made my fair share of mistakes as well, so as long as you're working to be a better man, Pierre.
It is the goal every day.
His days of milking horses are behind him.
His days of milking horses behinds are in front of him. What?
Oh, that's not where I was going with that. That's gross.
All right. So yeah, you guys were discussing things over the table in that evening, and then had gone to talk to the beat up
Snifferflippin'.
gentleman, the Svinnerflibbin.
Yep, I pronounced it 100% correct.
I don't think I pronounce it correctly either, but
I have no idea how to pronounce it. I know there's some V's in there.
there's a lot of letters in there. And you had discussed with him, seeing if anybody else was interested in trying to capture that book, and he expressed to you very adamantly that he is not sure whether or not anyone will be interested, because it is a pretty significant endeavor to undertake.
But if you find someone, they'll have that tattoo.
Yep.
That's how we can tell who they are. Then we can.
Yeah, and they'll be meeting us at the inn this night.
Yep.
That's what we should do. We should get matching tattoos.
Well, not necessarily this night. Information takes time to circulate, you know. Is there anything else you need from me?
No?
Well, then perhaps I can have my house back? Yes?
Sure, I'm leaving. I don't know about anybody else, but I'll head out.
Yeah, I'll follow
Yeah.
after him.
Okay.
I'll go back out that back door that we've been coming and going from.
Yep. Alright, so you guys can reconvene back at the inn. And is there anything you guys want to discuss before heading to bed?
Yeah. So I don't know if I got a clear answer to this, but do we know Sphinx can craft wondrous items now, or is it something?
There is something that we had discussed at the end of the last session. Might be something you guys want to talk about. Is Mal had last time you were in Comminster, Mal had kind of had a little powwow with everybody about new developments in their skills as time had went on. And it seemed like something Mal would want to do, and it's just kind of been missing the opportunity to sit down with the party and have it. And I think here at a table all together, perhaps that is something Mal would want to bring up again, noticing that he's already seen a few different things out of some of the people from the party as it stands.
Yeah, we can do that. Are you ready to discuss in detail that, Michelle? Have you figured out how you want to do all that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then let's sit down and sort of discuss where everyone's at. Yeah. Does anyone have any immediately pressing things that they want to get off their chests?
Yes, I would. If I may.
Go ahead, Pierre.
The horses, I think over time, we may want to invest in some barding for them. Maybe make them a little more resistant to being simply punched out so easily by giant metal monsters. Might make them a little more resistant to the animals. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I dealt with horses with barding. Most of the time I'd never really paid the price to get them barded up. I don't know what the investment's like, so perhaps it's not worth it, but I know when we were doing some of the work I was doing in the past, it was something we made sure of just in case of an emergency. It always sucks to lose a horse. And at one point, if you really wanted to get fancy, you can buy yourselves these horses that don't live, breathe, or eat. But I hear they're quite expensive.
Like how much?
When I asked questions, they assured me I would never see that much in my lifetime. But I assure you that I never expected to see some of the money that I've seen exchange your hands in my lifetime.
Where would you purchase something like that?
Traditionally, from what I'm aware of, they come from like specialty wizard shops. And usually you have to have some sort of item to go along with them. They're kind of tied to something that makes them exist. So like a whip per se might be the thing, or maybe like reins or there's some like mechanism that makes it happen. So like in the particular case of the one I had, you would flick a set of reins and the horse would appear. It was very disorienting to see like kind of a floating harness out there and these reins, and you would flick the reins and then the horse would start moving. It would just appear almost completely opaque, but you could see just enough through it that it was a little bit disconcerting at times to know that you were driving with something that may or may not be real and might or might not disappear at any given time. But it handled quite well. I was very impressed. It responded to commands even in situations that were quite rough, with fire whizzing past its muzzle.
Were these like a phantasmal horse, a summoned horse, or an undead horse?
Oh, it must certainly have been some sort of magic. They were, like I said, they were somewhat translucent, but they still had some heavy amount of opaqueness to them, and they weren't there until the reins were flicked, but they looked otherwise like regular horses.
Okay.
Huh.
Anyway, that's my suggestion. You can take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how much those are, that might be way better than barding.
Well, I can make barding pretty damn cheap.
No, fair enough. I'm for either way. I would like to not be in a situation where we lose all the horses and then we have to abandon the cart behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody
Yeah,
have
I
any
agree.
way that we could get out of that situation, perhaps? I know we have multiple people who have spells. Maybe that ability to make the horses with the whips is derivative of something. I hear that most items have to have some sort of way that they started. I've carried around a bit of wizards in my day.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just assuming we'd have to go really slow and have everybody pull it themselves.
Just have a fleet of ghosts pull them. Right, Sphinx?
Yeah, that's something. Sounds like she would do.
No, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, if I guess if nobody has any way to get us horses in the event that the horses die, it's definitely probably very important that we get barding, especially with the lion's penchant for trying to eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll do the whole spell thing.
Yeah, and then we can
There's
look into...
there's definitely no reason I'm saying this because one of the party members has it on their character sheet and is not engaging in the dialogue opening that I've given here for them to insert the
I
information
might have
to.
it. I
I'm
better
sorry
look at
someone
the-
surprised me with cake, okay?
Oh, that's a weirdly specific thing for you to say, Pierre.
Barbarian horse summons. I guess it was me all along.
Oh, you got your
here,
rage
you're
horses?
talking about lightning bolt.
Oh yeah. it's-
Ride the lightning, literally.
I didn't
I'd
realize.
rather
Bart-
use this mount spell instead, thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
But
what?
barbarian rage power, where you get rage horses.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Yup.
What is that?
Actually, I have a spell that might work.
Go on. I would love to hear of it.
I've got this spell that allows me to summon horses.
I wonder
How
What
many?
kind of horses?
How long does it last?
Third question.
Oh, she's frozen up because that's apparently what her Discord loves to do.
No, she intentionally did that so she didn't have to answer the question.
What?
There were 3 questions asked in like rapid succession.
Wait, what?
One
You can
question
make
at a
horses?
time, please.
What kind of horses? Are they real horses? Or are they necromancy horses? What kind of evil shenanigans you got going on over there?
It's certainly not evil shenanigans, though they might be magical horses.
Ghost horses? We know you love those.
They're not ghost horses.
Are you
Good.
sure? They're
How
not
long
ghost
does it
horses?
last?
Do they appear kind of translucent? So just so you know, Michelle, you can decide how the horses look. So,
Okay, maybe I do want ghost horses.
okay.
They're just a bunch of frumpy old horses.
How long does it last?
One of their necks just drags along the ground.
Jesus. I can't remember if it's per level per horse, or if it's like all of them.
It's only if you use communal mount, you can divide up the number of horses amongst. You basically take each 2-hour increment to make another horse, so you can divide it however you want to. So your current level, you're 5 or you're 6 right now, right?
Yeah.
So you could make up to 12 or up to 6 horses that last 2 hours each, or 3 horses that last 4 hours each.
Or 12 horses that last 1 hour each.
No, it has to be in 2-hour increments.
Oh.
Is this a costly spell for you, or is this an easy thing you can do?
It's not too terribly costly.
So if the horses died, you'd be able to cast it multiple times a day to help us get to a destination?
Likely.
Alright.
Pierre
Yeah, it's
Pierre
all
lets
very-
out a very loud sigh of relief. Oh, good. One of my fears is I've had people say the captain goes down with their ship as they're all racing away from the cart, and you would believe how hard it is to get back to town on your own. I guess you
that
guys
problem
might.
solved. Very good.
Sorry, that's all I have.
Anyone else want to share?
No,
I mean, I got stuff.
I haven't beaten anybody up in the past hour, so no.
While we're sitting here, I'm gonna order like one of the specialty drinks.
Okay. What in particular?
Order's Wrath.
Okay. You are definitely going to need to sip that.
All right. But I'm a huge fortitude barbarian.
I mean, if you want to go for it, go for it. You
No,
can try to
I'll
slam
sip
one
it.
down.
No,
When
I
you
don't-
order it, they specifically bring you over a document that you have to sign
Gotta sign
in order to drink
so
it.
I know all about the Orders of Wrath.
Yep.
And the fact that they can actually kill people.
Yep. It is 5 gold for one of these.
Do they have those? Are those like specific to this city or?
No, the Order's Wrath you can get anywhere that knows how to make one. It is a very, very punishing drink if you are not capable of handling it, which is why they require you to sign it. And the components required to make it are quite pricey, which is why it is 5 gold.
So like I've probably seen these in Krizeisen then.
Yes, it comes in a very decent size stein as well. So it's ultimately a very good value in drink. But if you are not carefully sipping it or don't have a high constitution, you are likely going to be unconscious and potentially dead.
Interesting.
That is literally what the document reads. Like the document describes, like you are drinking this at your own risk. We are very specifically making this for you. Contractually, we are not allowed to divulge all of the ingredients, but it has like a relative toxicity level that is on par with that of Black Lotus venom or Black Lotus extract.
What's the best specialty drink that doesn't require me to sip it and nurse it?
Do you want something quick and rough, or do you want something slow and steady?
Huh. Yes.
No, you must choose one way or the other. Or two different
one
ones.
of each.
Do you want one of each?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I will bring you 2 drinks. You will enjoy them, and then I will tell you their names.
Sounds good. They're not going to kill me. I don't have to sign a waiver. Or
There is
anything,
no
do I?
waiver required.
Cool. I'll drink the quick one first and then the long one. Or do I do it the other way?
No,
Whatever
you can drink the
quickest way.
quick one first, and then drink the slow and steady one to keep you at about a level field.
Yeah, there we go.
Is anybody else ordering drinks?
I'll get something.
What would you like? If you are confused, how close to a goblin palate is your sense of taste?
What's usually the grub score of a goblin?
There is no real relative grub score. Goblins just have a different palate because goblins don't necessarily get access to finer foods. So things that are more like dirt and earthy flavor, goblins are going to be more used to in terms of taste. Whereas like, somebody who's elven, they would want something that has like kind of a clean and crisp flavor. Humans tend towards like more of a savory kind of umami palate. Orcs get on the really extreme end of that, like it's like umami or nothing. Dwarves are kind of like an earthy and umami kind of palate with a little bit of like that good kind of bitter vegetable taste. But I have a drink that you might like if you've got more of a goblin thing. I don't mean to stereotype. but I call it bug juice.
You know what? I'll try some.
Okay. And how about for you, Sir Blue Man?
You have anything of magical persuasion?
Something with a little arcane kick to it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I believe I have just what you're looking for. I will bring it to you, and you tell me if you like it. It is a specialty of mine with a kick.
Okay.
All right. So you guys can get your drinks and have a little talking. And in between each of you revealing some of your stuff, we will resolve the effects of your drink. So who is, I believe that Zeke, you wanted to go first?
Oh, well, I don't have anything new that my character's doing.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about plans for potentially getting this book.
Gotcha. Does anybody have anything new that they want to reveal?
I should probably mention I have been learning how to make magical items that could potentially benefit the party. So if anyone's interested, they could talk to me and we could probably work out something. You could try making me something.
Very interested.
Wait, could you make magical horseshoes?
I can see about that.
We could go much faster with the right magical horseshoes.
I'll look into that.
And I'm sorry, Arius. I did not mean to intrude. I remember getting to ride around on a magical shoed horse. It was, oh my god, it was such a wonder to move at such speeds.
That sounds
Shoes
amazing.
of striding and springing, or whatever those boots are.
Mm-hmm.
The 3.5 ones.
Oh god,
That
that
sounds
just
amazing, but
outright
it sounds
double
like
your
we're gonna
speed.
have to fund these items. So I'm funding my item. I don't know about these horseshoes, but
Perhaps in time I will be able to.
Pretty much way more useful than anything else we could get.
speak for yourself, Mondronicus. I have a nice headband. Okay, it'll be super helpful.
We could get places twice as fast.
We travel fast enough. Have you heard of
Yeah,
stop
okay.
and smell the roses once in a while?
Item monkey.
Would we be able to like outrun lions and stuff with those horseshoes?
You would be pretty close actually. The cart, as long as you're not carrying around a shit ton of golem pieces, can actually move reasonably quick. The cart's stability might be called into question. Being whipped along behind the horses moving at double speed, but thanks to somebody else's new things, perhaps that could be overcome quite easily.
And would we have to? These don't get like, if a horse dies, we could take the horseshoes off and put them on a different one, right?
Absolutely.
So it's not like we'd be going all in on trying to keep a horse alive, because even if I can make these things barding pretty easily, it would not even take me much time at all. But like the fact is, like, I don't know. It's like that golem that one-shot them, right? Like, we've been protecting them fine from lions, but that golem, none of us could have protected any horses. No barding, no anything would have saved that horse from that golem.
Mm-hmm.
That was like why the whole strategy was just use mirror images and hope to stall it long enough, right?
Unless one of us had levitate, we could levitate the horses from danger.
There's a cart hanging from the horses. Arius' dragon horde falls onto the ground.
Sold.
Yeah, I'd be open to whatever with it. Getting places faster seems really nice too. But it's whatever we feel like. Have you? What circumstances does this crafting require?
Well, I need to get the item and the spell components.
So if we had stuff we
And-
wanted, we could just give you the costs in here in town, and you would just make them as you can.
Yeah, it takes me about a day to make one. Though, so.
Sometimes more if the item is particularly expensive.
So most of
Day,
the stuff,
sometimes more.
I think most of the stuff I would need you to make would take half a day or a day at most. Um. Okay. In regards to Cassius, have you been feeling okay? Is there anything that you need to report on your? I've noticed that basically the marks are mostly gone completely at this point. So, how do you feel different?
That's a good question. Do I feel any different?
So this is actually something that I wanted to bring up about your character, and this is something that we're going to start exploring actually at this level.
Is this the thing we were talking about like 4 or 5 sessions ago, kind of, or?
There was some stuff that that I brought up, and there's some directions that Cassius can end up taking with the character, that you can end up taking with Cassius as a character. And part of your dreams have been pointing to this, and part of some other things have been pointing to this. And this is going to kind of decide where you might go with the character. As it stands right now, your current condition is kind of stagnated, as it were. But you have started to feel like some extra throbbing in your arms at times, sometimes in your neck. You've noticed as you've started using some of your newly found like abilities to kind of work within the environment, that they have started to manifest in. They've caused like those sensations to manifest in very unique ways. However, you can officially remove your charisma penalty.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. There was some sort of caveat to that.
Nope.
How do I?
Some of the markings are still there, but it will not have the impact it once did.
Oh,
It should be in
there
your temp score. Yeah.
we go. Okay, yeah, like I tried to.
You gotta hit
last
the
time
little
when
cog next to it, and then
Okay, yeah, because last time when I got that strength, when I got bit and I had that strength damage, I was like, man, this is not letting me adjust this whatsoever. So.
Okay, well that's good to hear that it didn't end up being as deadly as we were originally thinking it could be, right?
Yeah, suppose so. Seems good, especially considering it's not. It didn't seem like what I was told it was.
But if it ends up being something, you should let us know.
All right.
The reason I bring these things up is we've been kind of rushing around a lot, trying to, everyone sort of has a lot of chaos in their lives, and just trying to figure out where we should prioritize things. Kind of trying to rush around with these contracts with trying to find the sentient animals, and it's kind of been a lot of dead ends so far. So I think to some extent you can sort of figure out what's actually worth devoting every last minute of our days to, and what stuff we kind of just got to wait on. In that regards, I finished up the schematics for your armor, Zeke. I believe if I'm extremely effective at it, I can make it for, I think, Steve, would you quote me at 400?
I believe that is correct.
It will take some time though, so in the interim, we'll still potentially have to deal with whatever comes as a result of your particular situation. But hopefully, if we can survive that long, can be safe for a while. At that point. then Sphinxor, how have you been feeling after the golem thing?
I've been feeling a bit better.
I never got a chance to thank you. You were so tired, but that was a very courageous thing you did to deal with that threat. That would have been a huge pain in the butt, and potentially have a lot of new resources as a result of it. So, thank you for that. And Arius, have you been feeling more yourself lately?
Well, I've been avoiding using my claws, so yeah.
Every time you use them, you kind of revert back and control a little bit. Is that the way that it feels?
It feels like I'm quote unquote rolling the dice every time I use them, and something may happen. So until I get a better understanding of what's going on, I'm trying to avoid using them.
That's a weird way to describe things. It's not like in life, it's just throwing a 100-sided object and determining things. Sure, certainly you have some sort of control. No,
I try.
Okay. Yeah, well, the abilities you've seemed to have picked up recently seem to almost be more useful than your claws at this point anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting lightning to get shot over my shoulder. But how did you learn that?
Well, I've always had an affinity for the lightning type spells, so just a little bit of practice, and I've been toying with that aggressive thundercloud I've been throwing around, and this just seemed like a natural extension. I'm also working on a new spell. Once I get a place to do some spell research, I'll come up with my own spell.
When I noticed when you cast a spell of that power, your morphology changed anyways, even though it wasn't your claws. It doesn't feel the same?
I don't know. Did it feel the same? Or it felt different?
To you, it felt like you just cast a spell. Like, you didn't directly notice anything particularly different.
Right. Did anyone even tell me I changed?
No one had mentioned anything about it yet. This is the first they're able to. You guys have really had time to talk.
Wait, what do you mean? I just casted my spell as usual. Same as. What do you mean?
The form that Ayun was, I now know it to be called a dragon. It has a very signature look to it. Once you've seen it a lot, can't really unsee it. So I kind of recognize it almost immediately when I saw it.
And you're saying my form changed to a dragon when I casted that lightning bolt?
Definitely wasn't to your face.
Well, I was in control of all my senses, so I don't know. Maybe you were seeing things. Did anyone else see this?
It's possible. We have been traveling a lot. I haven't been sleeping well.
No, it happened. We saw it.
It happened right in front of me.
All right. Okay. I'm not crazy, thank God.
Interesting. Well, I'm not. Well, I didn't feel anything different, and I didn't lose any of my senses, so I'm not going to refrain from casting my spells. But
no, I don't think you should. I was just curious what the toll on your body was. Like, how do you? I'm sort of starting to learn a little bit about my innate abilities. Sphinxor has started to seem to learn a lot. I'm just curious what roots of your magic could potentially. You started to figure that out at all for yourself?
Wait, out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I've only revealed to Cassius that I had that dream, right, so far? That didn't help me do some research. No one else knows.
Yeah, I don't think you've talked to anybody else about it.
When I was looking up Gimbal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ready to reveal that to anyone else. So I'll just kind of look at Cassius and just like say, yeah, I don't think anything too crazy yet I've been learning about myself, but I'm doing some research in that area.
I'll kind of look around as to try to make it not so obvious since he looks directly at me when
okay, when I say I look at you, I don't mean like I just like look at you. I mean, like,
yeah, but
I'm like looking around at when
I'm doing some research.
I make like eye contact with you, kind of like giving you the kind of like oh yeah, like you know about this, but like I'm kind of glancing around at everyone. I'm not You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Arya slides a bribe over.
Okay, well this is good to hear. This it seems that everyone has at least some semblance of some normality at the moment.
No, so in the last town, the dude found me and tried to send me some sort of present. I didn't even bring it with. Like, I just immediately dropped it and left it there. So things are getting worse for me.
I still have to imagine it's not coincidence that he gets to you the most in Luke Hill, though.
Hold on, pause. This is the first time we're hearing about this guy chasing Zeke? Because I know he only told Maldronicus.
Previously, he had only told Maldronicus, so this
Yeah,
is the
and
first time he's saying it now to the party.
Yeah, I'm directing it to Maldronicus, but yeah, obviously the party's here too.
What is this you guys are speaking of? You guys want to listen on this?
At discretion of everyone's privacy, I tend to not share things until they come pertinent to everyone's safety.
If someone's chasing Zeke, doesn't this not endanger us all?
That's why we are bringing it up.
All right, let's.
So, for the time being, for a while, it was seeming it was just more of a dreams thing, like we were all having. But whoever this is that is chasing him is now reaching out to him physically, sending him stuff, sorts of things, which would seem to suggest he could send things at any of us. Problem being, if this being is that powerful that they can do such things, I don't know if we can actually confront this guy indirectly. So for the time being, one of my solutions is I hope to be able to build him sort of a resistant armor to this type of magic that will help protect him from this wizard tracking. In the interim, we should definitely tread very carefully. Potentially this book could give us more information, but at the same time, it sounds like from the testimony of that gnome that this wizard could be almost just as dangerous as who's ever chasing Zeke. So I think we should very much tread carefully here. If we don't find a right person for this job, I don't think we should put our lives in danger going after something that we're not going to have any chance of taking.
Well, here's the hoping that that guy doesn't just start tracking us down knowing that we're with Zeke.
He seems to be very obsessed with Zeke. It almost seems personal in ways. Would you say that's true, Zeke?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if I knew I was tracking somebody down and they had traveling companions, and all of a sudden I was able to stop it, or I wasn't able to track them down anymore, I would just see if I could start tracking down their traveling companions.
Yes, but the minds of psychotics aren't necessarily logical at times.
Do you know how he's been tracking you, Zeke?
I mean, it's some sort of magic.
I mean, did you feel under his sorcerer, or like what kind of spell was it? Was it a spell he used to track you? How did you know about it?
Yeah, like he would. The last few times I've tried to sleep, like briefly say something or whatever before I'd be able to kick him out of my mind.
Can I roll?
He sent a messenger with a gift at the last town, so.
Can I roll a knowledge arcana to identify what kind of spell this might be?
Sure, you can give it a shot.
Man, I miss Chrysiza.
From like his description of like how it's only when he's sleeping or something, or he hears a voice or anything like that.
So with the knowledge arcana, I mean, the first thing this gets really, you know that this is really complicated, right? Mm-hmm. It's tracking somebody down is a feat to behold. So you know at the very least they would need some way to be able to like sort of see an area where a person might be able to be. Right, so that would probably require some form of scrying. Scrying is like the most common way to locate somebody. But if it seems to be like easier within a certain area, with a 25 knowledge arcana, you would know there's a good chance that there is probably not a coincidence that it's happening in Luke Hill, or that it's more common when he's in Luke Hill. That it's probably easier if he's in a specific area to be able to locate him while he's in Luke Hill than it would be to locate him while he's elsewhere.
Okay, so I think to surmise that, I would ask, like, oh, like, has this happened when we've been camping out? And obviously it hasn't, so then I would say, like, oh, clearly maybe your location is part of the power of the spell. And I'm going to assume I know that you can cast certain spells through scrying with that check. So I'm going to assume that the caster is casting message through the scry to get like a
you can make that assumption. You can make a number of assumptions to spells that you kind of know as you want. There's no harm in making assumptions. But your knowledge arcana at the very least tells you that there is definitely scrying involved, and that you're pretty sure you can cast spells through scrying.
Tell me, Zeke, when you heard, I assume you told me that you heard a voice. When you hear his voice, does it sound like a whisper in your ear, or do you hear it in your mind? Like your own thoughts?
How do I hear it, Steve?
It's kind of hard for you to tell in those circumstances when you're
I guess
drowsy.
That's true, yeah. How would you even tell?
Well, actually, I mean, I have the spellcraft and stuff myself.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me a spellcraft, actually, because you've directly encountered it.
The knowledge arcana, I have rank symbol.
No, give me a spellcraft. Okay, so you would notice that this is less a whisper and more a direct conversation in your mind.
Direct conversation in my mind.
This may warrant a visit to a reckless, maybe? He was able to help our past leader with some mind-affecting spells.
I don't want anyone near my mind.
Well, maybe he could give you something to ward off any scrying attempts or something like that. Or he knows he's a powerful caster. Maybe he knows this caster who's doing this to you. I don't.
It's true. If there's some sort of ward, I might be interested. But I don't want him going in my mind.
Well, I think it warrants a conversation with him at least. Maybe he could help us, but that's when next time we're near that town or.
Well, as I said, I think for the time being, I think if we avoid Luke Hill area, we should have a little bit more safety from the situation until we figure out more.
I'm sorry, out of character. Where was Reckless again? What town?
Reckless is in what the hell is the name of the town? Kazaram. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, it's Kazaram.
Kazaram.
Right.
Yeah.
Kazaram. Okay.
I can't.
He's in Kashram.
No.
Yeah.
So, I think at least for the time being, can sort of wait to see what transpires with who wants to attempt to steal this book. I think it's going to have to be someone pretty exceptional, and if we can't find that, I think at the moment we kind of are at a dead end. I'm not an exceptional thief, not especially without magic. I don't know if any of you have demonstrated such abilities, but
I almost stole a hat once.
yeah. I
snuck into a house.
I almost stole a hat. Yeah, I snuck into a house of a casual. So I'm just saying this because you're an important person in the party, and I want to make sure that you hopefully don't go and do something too stupid. We've gained new information on this, that this wizard is probably much more powerful than we're estimating him to be. So. I think
we could take him down.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, if an entire organization of thieves is scared shitless of this guy, I question that.
Yeah, no offense, but I'm not invested enough to get myself killed over it.
Are we dropping that plan where we just distracted him, and Mal, you use your spell to read things twice as fast, and maybe you could just take a quick.
That could be a very small attempt that we try, but if we actually want to acquire the ledger, I think we're gonna definitely need help from someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot faster than twice as fast.
Yeah, it's like 4 times as fast, but
Oh, yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, that's a spell that I never knew existed, and it's a great spell.
And Cassius knows it directly because he got to watch it happen in real time.
Yep. I was about a quarter of the way through the page when he already turned it.
He's like, wait, that's when I lost my virginity. Oh, come on, go back. Do I actually know when Cassius lost his virginity?
You do indeed.
Oh. What was he or she like?
I'll let Cassius explain that if you want
Don't you
to.
talk on my dad like that.
Oh, God.
What the?
Okay. All right, we're going off topic. Let's go. All right. No. So, yeah. So I think the gnome said he would be sending someone here tomorrow night after he vets us to make sure that we're someone would be willing to take a contract from. But if this doesn't turn up anything, I'm kind of like exhausted for ideas on how to contact these sentient animals earlier than the arranged date at this point. We've kind of tried everything.
Do we have anything of theirs? We don't, do we?
Not really, no. So I think we're kind of just, wanting to solve these problems as fast as we can, but in this situation, it may just be that we just have to be patient. And if negotiations go well, then everything follows. We get the emerald. We get the scry done, and we can figure out what the next stage of the military is. But for the time being, I think, other than looking into some of this ledger stuff here,
I just had an epiphany.
Go on.
Do we know if there's any high-level clerics in the town? Or even maybe a learned wizard or caster. I've heard of spells to share memories. Perhaps we can share a memory of these creatures, and then they could also scry on them, having seen them and use that information they've seen from our memories. To maybe scry on them and find them.
I don't think we should do that.
Why not? Just because someone's been scrying on you?
I also think that's just, again, sort of the exhausting, and it'll cost us a great deal of resources to even do that.
Really? I think the town's invested in us solving the problem. They don't think they would be forthcoming with helping with just contacting these people for us?
Assumes a powerful wizard is just sitting around and wants to help us.
I mean, not sitting around, maybe by order of the people who want us to get this done.
So see, this gets into like sort of that other topic we were on this last week. What is like the rarity breakdown? Like, I always feel like even once you start getting to mid levels, you're already like very strong for a normal person. So like, are there just going to be high level wizards around?
That's hard for you to tell at this stage of the game. I would say that so far, each person in this group has probably encountered somebody that's of at least moderate or higher level. We know for a fact that Arius has encountered several people of reasonably high level in his past. We know Zeke is currently being tracked by somebody who's probably at least moderate or higher level with the ability to scry on him and possess his body. Cassius has encountered something that is beyond his understanding, so much so that he's lost part of his memory from it. Sphinx is being followed by an apparition that is powerful enough to be influential, and you yourself have multiple times encountered rather powerful spellcasters and people of great expertise.
But all of these people from our backstories are in like more exceptional situations. These aren't just powerful people sitting around in a town under the contract of a town. Do towns have?
To some degree, I mean, some of them are. You've encountered Heracles, right? And Heracles is a very powerful wizard that runs the town. The gnome from Lukil had at least reasonable enough magic that he was able to attempt to extract the information from Arius about what he had done. And he seemed to do it without concern for like the expense of that. The secret society that was in Kazarum was using reasonably powerful magic to protect itself. Magic and people of reasonable level seem to exist here fairly, like, I would say that moderate level people do exist on a pretty regular basis, and people of reasonable power are not, it is not impossible or even unlikely for you to locate them. Especially in larger sized towns, and for you not to find one in a city, for you not to find many in a city would probably be a preposterous proposition.
Anyways, it doesn't hurt to ask. We could ask around and see if it's possible.
Yeah,
If not,
no,
then-
like I said, we can certainly look into it. But for the time being, if, like I said, if this ledger doesn't turn anything up, or if we can't get the ledger, then I'm just saying, like, we can probably just take a moment to breathe for a little bit and just wait out our meeting with the sentient animals, rather
fine
than
with that.
trying to. Because the only last plan I had, which is a low shot anyways, is to go to Muckmack, see if they'll let us borrow their wagons, because the people in Bayer Ward or whatever wouldn't. And then maybe we could bait out an attack as we did in the past, but again, that's just more.
I don't think that's worth our time.
Yeah,
to
it's
do
more
that.
maybes, it's more travel.
Yeah.
I need to work on some projects in the town anyways. I need to see if I can fix the issues the wagon's been having. Maybe try and see if I can make some armor for the horses. Yeah, if that's the case, then I guess we'll just wait till tomorrow to see who shows up. And at least for the time being, people can do whatever downtime activities they want.
Okay. All right. So we did not get to do the thing that I said I was going to do as part of that. Each of you did order drinks, and your drinks are delivered. Cassius, your drinks will amount to 1 full gold.
Oh, no.
Spinx, your drink is about 2 silvers. And Arius, your drink is about 5 silvers.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and tip them. I'll tip them 4 silver.
Okay. So, how are you handling your drink, Zeke?
No, should I roll a fortitude or?
Are you? I mean, like, are you drinking it all at once? Are you
Oh no,
going to drink it slowly?
I was sipping on it as this whole
Okay.
conversation was going on, or whatever.
Gotcha. So, the Order's Wrath is a very interesting drink when you consume it. It is named after the spell of clerical origin. It is said to, like, floor those who are not honorable and not reasonable people, evoking the very might of the way things should be itself upon those who are not stout and sturdy. An Order's Wrath has, like, a very heavy heat that happens as you drink it. And that heat kind of sits in your mouth for a while after you swallow, and it kind of, like, lingers all the way down. And you can, like, after a few moments of it, there's, like, that same heat that kind of fills through your whole body, like that sensation you get when you're, like, right about that starting level of feeling the alcohol hit your body, but this happens much more rapidly and much more thoroughly. Your body temperature kind of rising much more significantly than it would under those circumstances. And after a few sips of this, I would need a fortitude save.
All right.
Oh, that is not a good enough roll. So you are moving towards drunk very rapidly at this point.
My +8.
You will find yourself at a temporary penalty to your dex, your your dex, your int, and your wisdom of 2 to each. However, you will have a temporary +2 to your charisma.
Yes.
I will come back to you in just a moment as we go to Cassius's drink.
He's good.
Cassius, the first drink that is set in front of you is a very small shot that looks like it's in a barrel that was built by a pixie.
All right.
And inside there's like a bit of a bubbling to it.
Okay.
And in a larger glass next to it, a very large tankard, is something that smells very faintly of ginger and honeysuckle.
Interesting. Is there anything I need to know about these before I drink them? I asked the guy when he drops them off.
The little one will take you there quick, and the big one will allow you to meander for some time.
Gotcha. Thank you. Give him the money and then start out the little one.
Okay. With the little one, you do not get a save. Well, I'll give you a save, actually, but I know you can't make it. Yeah. With the little one, you are drunk. You'll take your implicit penalties, the 2 to dex, int, and wisdom, and the +2 to charisma.
Man, that sucks. I have a +7 to that, too.
That is not enough to save against this. This is not a drink that is capable of doing what the Order's Wrath is capable of doing in terms of killing you, but it is a drink that will automatically jump you, in most cases, up to drunk, if not further. You got past a 15, so you're not a step even further.
I'm not blacked out.
Well, no, blacking out would be 3 steps, so that would be getting below a 10. But you are quite feeling the effects of this drink. Like, you're nice, you're relaxed, a little further than buzzed. And then the other drink has a bit of a the ginger and honeysuckle are not notes that you're getting by any faintness, especially as you drink it. There is very clearly a good taste of ginger within this, and honeysuckle is just a very fragrant aroma to begin with, and to add kind of that taste to this blends it in nicely. But there's a little extra in here, something very sweet, but also a little bitter, like a refined. Give me an intel check.
Oh, I have a -2 to this, don't I?
Yes. Ooh. But you would definitely know that this is a mead of some sort. That very rich, but it is served in a tankard, not in a wine glass.
What was his first one? Was that a shot?
It was a shot.
They're really good.
Are you frozen, Michelle? God damn it.
Say yes if you're frozen.
She's just doing her statue cosplay.
Arius, your drink will turn out to be a little disappointing. He brings the drink to you, sets it down. Visually, it is very appealing. Little jolts of lightning stream across the drink periodically, and it actually has this kind of faint black and bluish color that kind of makes the drink look a bit like the sky at midnight, with the moon barely coming out over the horizon right before a storm. And it has a very nice taste to it. It's a very blueberry kind of hinted ale. But you feel like that kick that he said was supposed to be there just isn't there. There's no real kick. It's a nice blueberry ale. It's a good blueberry ale, but it is definitely missing something that he said would be there. There's definitely no kick. But I'm going to need you to roll a D100.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh. So while Arius is drinking this drink, you notice that, like, his skin starts to get a little more blue in color and a bit scaly, and his face kind of shapes a little bit differently, like a little bit of a snout starts to kind of come out in his facial form.
So are you doing the dragon thing on purpose right now, Arius?
Do I feel any different, or
There is no, like, direct change that you can feel at the moment. It does, drinking this seems a little bit different, like you've noticed you've had to tilt the glass a little bit, but you didn't know if, like, maybe that was because the glass is kind of weird, or like or there's just less alcohol in there, so maybe you have to tip it a little more. But at some point, you'll notice that, like, as you're taking your next drink, your hand is much more blue and scaly than it normally is.
Yeah, he probably just assumed that it was his weak chin.
maybe he brought me a dragon polymorph potion? I doubt it, though. Interesting.
And Spinks, you have this little, like, kind of wine glass full of something that looks almost jello-like, with, like, little things kind of floating around inside of it. Little bits of things, like, give me a perception. I love that this is Spinks, so that means she's probably not going to catch this. Yeah, you're not sure. These could easily be, like, some kind of herbs or something. You gonna take a drink, or are you just gonna stare at it?
I'm gonna take it. No, I'm gonna stare at it for 5 hours. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
take
feed
a drink.
monkeys.
Okay.
Study it for 3 rounds and then eat its brains.
So you take a drink of this, and it's a bit like there's like a bit of a kind of earth flavor, like you're eating a bit of, like you're drinking a bit of dirt for a moment. And as you drink it, it's got this weird kind of sort of grainy but smooth grainy texture, like a very very soft grade sandpaper. Oh, thank you for the follow, Paizo. Or host Paizo. I don't know how to handle that. But it has like a bit of a fine, like a very fine, or very soft, but yet sandpapery taste. Like if you get wet sand in your mouth, but like try to rinse it out with water, there's a bit of that like grit still roaming around in your mouth while it happens. And there's like these bits of things, and they're a bit more stiff in your mouth than you expect them to be. And it's kind of like a liquid that's chewy-ish. Do you just try to swallow it? Do you spit it out? Do you chew it a little bit? What do you do in this situation?
I'm gonna try and chew it up there.
When you chew it, there's like a little bit of a crunchy texture to it as you chew it, but it like softens up a little bit as you chew into it. The flavor overall is actually quite like good, but the mouthfeel of this is very weird. Like it tastes kind of like savory. There's like a bit of a almost kind of meaty-ish flavor that blends really well with a bit of a bitter yet slightly sweetened kind of taste that tastes like berries, but not maybe not berries that you've really ever had, like maybe wild berries, or some of the like potentially poison berries that exist. And of course she freezes up. I don't know how much of that you got and what you missed.
Something about berries that I may or may not know.
Yeah,
Thing I heard.
Does Sphinx have ranks in knowledge nature? Oh, come on, this freezing up is not cool.
Not cool.
Can I have you give me a knowledge nature, please? Yeah, you're not quite sure what this berry flavor is. Do you finish the drink or do you spit it back up?
I'll try and finish it.
Okay. I am going to need you to give me a fortitude save. Okay. So you are... Oh, I'll wait till she's done being talked to in two directions.
Are people freaking out about my appearance? I look around me. Is anyone, or do the patrons notice?
If you whisper, it can't pick you up. That microphone is not good enough to pick up you whispering.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person.
Okay. So yeah, with a fort save of 5, you are going to be paralyzed for a full minute.
So just keep lagging and you'll just be LARPing.
However, while you are in this state, you are seeing some of the most intense colors you've ever seen in your entire life. Colors that you may not have ever known existed. Your brain is fabricating these new colors and shapes that kind of race by as you're in this state. And when you come out of the paralytic state, you will have an overall sensation of total and complete calm. I love how she's LARPing now.
Yeah, this is happening way too frequently.
Yeah, is somebody over there downloading
No, it's literally the internet. There's something wrong with the internet.
Okay. Did you hear about where did you fall off?
Like you started saying after the
Okay, so after the paralysis wears off, you will feel an intense feeling of calm. There is almost nothing that you feel like you could... that there's no way that someone could scare you, or no way that someone could make you feel uncomfortable at this point. You just feel more calm than you've ever felt in your entire life, and more calm that you think you could ever feel again. And that calm will kind of maintain for longer the more of this that you drink. The paralysis effect happens only on the first sip. Everything after that is kind of extending that calming sensation. All right. Good. So, before the night is over, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, let me know. But before the night is over, I will need 3 more fortitude saves from Zeke.
All right, should I do them right now?
Yeah. Unless people want to talk about more stuff, because it could change how you'll end up talking to them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about the potential plans for this book.
Yeah.
All right, so if we do get the book, this might be, so what do we want to do? Obviously this guy would be coming for it. Would we want to try and get it out of town as quick as possible, or would we want to, I don't know, have it in the streets where he would be caught if he tried to cast spells on us, or what do you guys think we might want to do if we can get this?
I would just be looking to read the book and leave it. I don't think we'd want to... Is there anything reason why we would need the book for outside of the information in it?
All right, so you're just gonna use your thing to read it at 4 times speed, and then we just dump it somewhere?
Yeah, because if we take it with us, presumably he can track it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Is there? I mean, that's why I was asking. If there's any intrinsic reason you need the book other than the information, then that would be different. But if all we want is the info, which is all I personally want, then I don't. Then I think I'll just skim the shit out of that thing, and we'll, that's it.
Yeah, sounds good. I just wanted to make sure that we had some sort of plan for if we got it.
Okay. Go ahead and take the rest of your fort saves, and let's see.
3?
3 of them. Yep. Ooh.
Roll a third.
All right. You are good to not be dead. However, somebody's going to have to take him up to his room for the night. The Order's Wrath is not a drink to be taken lightly, and even sipping it by the end of the night, Zeke is kind of doing one of those numbers where he's almost forgotten where he is. He like gets to the stairs and forgets like, why am I going? Where am I going up? Did I just get down? Which way am I supposed to go?
A 6, a 4, and a 2, man.
Does he drunkenly slip up anything that maybe he wouldn't want to reveal when he's sober?
I don't know. How much is somebody trying to fish for some information from him?
I don't think I would be fishing for anything.
Okay.
But I think we'd be like having conversation about the book and everything. So I don't know if that brings up something like, oh yeah, and that I want to kill that wizard or something. I don't know.
What kind of drunk is Zeke? Is he the quiet and like contemplative drunk? Is he the angry drunk? Is he the like?
Let me actually look and see on that sheet if I said anything about that.
And who's going to be helping Zeke up to his room?
Depends. How many fortitude checks do I need to make?
You actually just will maintain where you're at. The drink that you're having has a very good like stabilizing effect if you want to stay at kind of a alcohol level, unless you try to slam it. If you slam it, you'll need to make another save, but it won't be like a difficult check to kind of maintain.
Yeah, actually, he is an angry drunk. Irritability, angry outbursts, and aggressive behavior.
Okay. So yeah, at this point, like, he's probably upset at like the part at having to wait another day to find out anything about this book.
No, I think I'd still be kind of fuming about Arius talking about scrying on people and going into their minds.
Okay,
that's what would probably be bothering me more right now.
So you're like doing the old man read the riot act to him about like how bad scrying is and how it's like not okay to peer into the minds of other people. And there's like no arguing with him because he just won't back down from his like rock solid perspective of like, no, damn it, I'm right. I'm a victim here. I experienced it. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think the argument surrounds the fact that if scrying is actually going in your mind, and I'm adamant it's not. And I think he is adamant that it is.
Yeah. So yeah, the two of you kind of have this argument back and forth until eventually, like, he takes down like the last drink of it, sets the tankard down, and looks at you and says, "You're."
Well, I don't think he's going to hear any voices tonight.
I hope not.
Actually, I'm gonna need a will save.
No, but like we put a bunch of lead on.
Wake up or respond? He's like passed out.
He's just sleeping under piles of lead.
Piles of lead.
All right, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do my reroll.
No, you're completely unconscious.
All right, so also this already has the -1.
Okay.
So I already have that in my stats right now.
Gotcha.
So just...
So Zeke, you're out cold. And for a moment, I need a hold on. I always forget what the check is to identify whether or not you're being scryed upon.
Will save, isn't it?
I think it is will.
Yeah, will save.
Yeah, but for other people to see if they can sense it, if it's targeting something specific. Hang on a sec. No. It's about targeting. So, Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong spell. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go. No, I did have the right one. So yeah, there is no save offered to the rest of you, just to him. And then, Zeke, I'm going to need one more will save. Okay. One sec. Let me double check this. Find.
Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Hold on, I cannot find the spell. I believe you saved though against it.
Since we were arguing, was he raging before he went to sleep?
Don't forget, I got this +3 morale bonus to saving throw made to resist spells, supernatural abilities, and spell-like abilities when raging, and I was very angry at Arius.
That's correct. You were not raging though.
Damn.
Yep. So there is that part of this is resisted. I'm gonna need you to give me one more will save though. Okay. Excellent. All right. So then all that's left here, I believe, is I am going to need one more thing from the rest of the party. Actually, hold on. Not the rest of the party, but come here. Where are you at? MUD4, why do you always go AWOL for my bin? I have too many dice in it. Mal, I am going to need a will save.
This is the first time I've ever had to do a save in this game.
That can't be true. Is that serious?
I think that's pretty accurate, because up until now there has not been a lot of spellcasting happening. All right, Mal, you feel like for a moment something tried to pierce its way into your mind. Something is definitely trying to disrupt your ability to sleep properly. You feel like words start to fill your head, and you feel like a drowsiness, and every time you blink, you feel like something kind of like yell into your face as your eyes kind of blink closed and then open again. But then you kind of feel it rip away from you as you sit there.
This is what? Just at the dinner table still, or this is up in my room?
This is at the dinner table. Unless you went upstairs before Zeke passed out.
No, I'd still be down there.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Yeah, I wasn't really drinking anything, so it'd definitely be a weird kind of thing for me. I guess I'd look around the bar just to make sure there's no one else in here.
Does not appear to be.
Was that you, Ayun? Did you feel that?
I noticed that for a moment you felt like you were slipping away, but I didn't know if maybe it was just because you were tired.
Okay. Just gonna make a mental note of it. I don't know what to make of that.
Okay.
And it was very immediately apparent that it was as soon as Zeke passed out it happened?
It happened very shortly after. It probably happened about 10 or 15 seconds after Zeke passed out.
Okay. Mentally noted.
Mm-hmm. All right. So who is helping Zeke to bed?
I would probably want to do it, unless anyone is more adamant.
Okay. Yep, you can help Zeke off to bed.
And I just want to be clear, he didn't, when he was telling us about this stuff, he didn't say that it was trying to, like, get him to do stuff or anything, right? We just said he heard a voice and it was leaving him a gift or something, right?
There was a lot of missing information from what he was talking about. Yeah, you could have probably ascertained some other stuff. Like, he's very adamant about, like, not non-mind control. Like, in his arguing, he was very much so like, mind control is bad. Like, you shouldn't be looking into people's minds.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's very clearly some, like, chip on his shoulder about things that affect or interact with the mind.
Is it reasonable for me to think, like, oh, this guy's trying to, like, mind control him a bit or make him do stuff?
You can make whatever jump you want to kind of put together.
Okay. Because, yeah, I'd want to cast an alarm spell. I assume our rooms are all in the same area, kind of?
Yeah, you guys typically keep the rooms together. That was part of, like, the whole military members bundle, is that, like, you guys get rooms that are all reasonably close to each other. That was something that you had actually caused to happen the last time when you talked about being the second in command and getting the keys.
Yeah, so if no one's around after I put him to bed, I want to cast, like, alarm spell, like, outside our room. So, like, if anyone were to leave their rooms, I would be pinged mentally about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So let's discuss a few things about everybody's sleep. First of all, Zeke, you will sleep the rest of the evening quite well. Arius, you will also sleep through the evening quite well.
Nice.
Cassius and Spinks. The two of you find yourself in that familiar field again. Out in the middle of a camp.
Is your face still a wayfinder?
Still a wayfinder. But there's a little bit of a Spinksara look to that wayfinder this time. Get the right music going here. There we go.
I haven't heard this in a while.
I know.
What if the hand on the wayfinder was just like my mask?
Sure. That actually is a good thing to make it. So yeah, there's like a mask instead of the wayfinder hand.
Did I try to touch her face with the wayfinder last time, or?
Yes, you did, and she backed away.
I'm gonna do it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to.
She continues to back away. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
All right.
If you want to get aggressive about it, if you don't, you can obviously choose not to. But
no, I'm not gonna get aggressive about it.
Okay.
Because
smack me in the face with it.
Well, it doesn't have to smack you. He's just looking to touch you in the face with it. So.
Because before I was able to like interact with her, like when she was just a wayfinder, and I didn't really have any issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last time she seemed like it was more aware, like it wasn't this like it seemed more like it was her than it was like just a dream of her or whatever, right?
Correct.
Okay. You?
We can help him. Did you know that we can help him?
We can?
Why? What? Can't what?
What he seeks partially exists within my realm. I would like to help him if you would like to help him.
Why do you have a mask on your face?
She always has a mask on. After the thing where you guys bought masks, she kept the mask on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's if you look at.
After I bought the mask.
Yeah. If you look at the character that she did, the character art she did, her character has the mask on. I'll pull it up while you guys can have your conversation.
Yeah. How did I not notice that? because I thought you said the mask was on the hand.
Well,
so
it's replaced
also
the
on
hand now.
Oh. Wait, so the hand of the Wayfinder.
So, like, she's normally wearing her mask, right? And the hand of
Yeah.
the Wayfinder is kind of morphed into her mask, kind of spinning around, and her face kind of spins with it now.
Oh, so it's like if the hand was underneath the mask.
Yes.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, I don't.
Oh, I'm glad I cannot see myself.
Hey, look. If she wants to be a luchador, that's fine. I'm not gonna stop her. We're on campaign for that, but you know that's okay.
Yeah, but this is on the right layer. That is Sphinx.
Oh, jeez.
That's it. Oh yeah. I forgot. I kept thinking it was like a full face mask, not just a
No, just the
party
little
mask
like
thing.
you know, I forget what those are called.
Yeah.
Masquerade mask or whatever.
Yeah, I think they have a
much.
more specific name, but I don't. It's not worth investing the time to figure out what they're called.
But yeah. So
What was the last thing that was said?
We can help him.
I'd like to help him. If I
is she having a one-sided conversation with herself?
Yeah. She's like not looking at you. They're like the Wayfinder kind of tilts, and she's like talking out into like the open air.
That's not uncommon for her, but
Are you gonna try to listen carefully to her?
I mean,
Before I'm sorry, I do need to pause for just a couple of minutes. I have a work call I have to take.
sure.
So can we pause this? We'll take a short break and then we will come back.
Perfect. Now I go to the bathroom real quick.
Thanks, guys.